I have a lot to say about this in a minute.
I'm going to definitely bring up, where was he? Did he see a light at the end of the tunnel?
I don't have anything about that.
You got a Jacob's Ladder thing going on?
Nope. You can do all those jokes.
Well, I'll do them whether or not you're doing it or not.
We'll see who commands the Joke King title.
I'm going to beat you to the punch on
Will
something.
Prime die?
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast that delivers a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. This is episode 64, which means we're covering...
Are you sure it's episode 64?
I think
It's episode 66.
it is.
Okay.
This is
And you
episode...
thought I didn't pay attention to what
Nice
was going
Good
on.
catch, by the way. I would not have caught that until editing.
This is episode 66, and we are covering the 1 hour, 5 minute, and 1 second to the 1 hour and 6 minute mark. This is your host, Aaron. And with me are two men. One fights because he can't sing and dance, while the other eats lightning and craps thunder.
Yar. No, that sounds like a pirate. Yar. Yar, Rocky.
Hey, you picked up the reference.
I know who it is, yeah.
Well, I should have broke your thumb.
If I can change, then you can change.
We all could
And everybody can change.
Hurrah.
So
They cheer for him. I fight for myself.
I'm light years behind. We texted about this a little bit a couple of days ago. I finally saw Creed on a flight this week.
I'm just surprised you hadn't seen it.
I am as
seen it?
well.
Yeah, I've seen
You
it.
guys have both seen
Yeah.
it? I'm assuming you both
I
liked
saw
it
it-
because it's a good movie.
I saw it in a
it's
hotel
good.
room. Yeah, shortly. Alone.
It was it was amazing that the arc of the Rocky
Oh, yeah.
franchise, like
It's real weird.
he ran it into it
Oh.
was running Hollywood run it into the ground, and then he came back with it.
I feel like for the number of movies that they have of Rocky, it has more good ones than bad
Absolutely.
ones.
Absolutely.
And some are good in an art sense,
Yes.
but some are just good in an entertainment
Sure.
sense. This is a good mix of both, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like 1 and 2 are genuinely like
Really
they're
good.
films. They're good movies.
I think
3
they both are. I think they were in contention for Oscars
Yes,
both years.
I believe so.
And I think they may have won both years Best Picture.
Oh,
Is
I
that possible?
don't. No, the
first-
only
the
sequel to
first
win
one
Best
did.
Picture, I think, is
Godfather.
Godfather 2.
In order of, in my opinion, of best to least best, Rocky, Creed, Rocky 2, Rocky 4, Rocky 3.
What's your guideline?
Controversial.
My opinion of my
How much you like them?
Like
How
art
much I
mo-
like-
Okay, gotcha.
of just how much I like them. Is just
That-
they're different. I like Rocky. I like Rocky the original for completely different reasons than I like Rocky 4.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say. Is like 3 and 4 are like where they hit like the Hollywood bubblegum pop kind of like
right.
these are enjoyable movies.
Right.
1 and 2 are
They jump the shark, but delightfully so.
They're enjoyable. They're not. Yeah, they're very watchable. Because I think everyone can agree 5 is garbage.
Yes.
I don't think that's like debatable.
Rocky 5, there's a scene where the premise is that they do a computer simulation.
No,
of-
that's 6.
that's 6.
Which I think is
I
more-
like 6.
Yeah.
People like 6, but I don't like 6.
That
I think it's borderline.
Hey,
garbage.
Rock, that simulation's got people talking. Right.
It has
Yeah,
problems, but I
that's
like 6.
simulation.
I like
Yeah.
6 fine because I especially like the end basically. But I like 6. All right, 5 is the one where he is training Tommy Gunn,
Yeah.
and they have the
That's the
Don
low
King
point.
analog. What are you gonna do, Pug? Touch me and I'll sue.
Yeah.
Sue me for what?
So,
Oh, let me give my Rocky rundown first.
go ahead.
I would go Rocky just because you gotta have.
It's
I guess
great.
you gotta do the. Although the scenes now in today's climate, like watching it, his interactions with Adrian are problematic.
Oh, is he a little?
He's
like,
very pushy.
Machismo.
Very pushy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot, and my wife likes it. I like it. I'm not justifying anything with
Sure,
that.
no, I know. I'm just saying.
Aside from that, I'm saying that his dialogue in it is pretty incredible.
Oh, it's a great movie, and
talks
it's a
a
very
lot.
small part where I'm just like, that's uncomfortable. I
But
don't
here's
like
the
it.
deal.
But anyway,
But just because it's uncomfortable, it's you know what? It's okay that it's uncomfortable. If it's true to character, then it's true to character. It's a movie.
it's just
a
hard to
film.
get
It's
behind
a study.
someone who is
It's
being
a study
that way.
of a guy. Yeah, I gotcha. But
It's
you
a
know,
component of
it's
his
a blip.
character I just wish didn't exist.
It's a blip, and nobody's perfect. Perfect characters would be boring to watch. But
So-
the thing is, people probably didn't analyze it to that degree when the movie came out.
Of course
They were
not.
like,
So let's get.
But-
hold on. I want to hear you. I want to hear.
Yeah, go
any
on.
remaining things, and I want to hear you talk about Creed because that's where.
Yeah, I actually have a story, but yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Anyway, I'd go Rocky, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 2, Rocky 6. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I forgot about
Holy
Creed.
moly.
I forgot about Creed. Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Creed 6, 2, 5.
Interesting. Two that falls.
2 I
at the
like,
end.
but I cannot see it, and I'm fine with it.
I
Really?
actually.
I would
I love Rocky
I would
2.
honestly put 3 number 1. I just have to put Rocky 1 number 1 because 3 is one I would
Put 3
if
number
not-
1. Have some balls.
Okay.
Have
Well,
some
I just
fucking
feel like that
donuts.
1 is so good, like cinematically, but in terms of my watchability, I'll watch 3 and 4 way ahead of watching any of the others.
I can watch 1 over and over again, and then I can watch 4 on a regular occasion over the holidays.
It's so
It's outrageous.
4 is insane.
It's yeah, I like it. Just
It's
'cause
such
so
a
outrageous.
caricature of
Yeah.
everybody.
And which is another thing. Sylvester Stallone has made a fortune at taking his characters and just continuing to make a character
True.
exploit. Like it's weird. He is exploiting his own characters, so that's
Or exploring his own
no. I would say
characters.
no, not at all. He's just like Ryan said. He's just taking those characters, kind of finding what works with them in pop culture and exploiting that to just to no end.
What is popular about that character and then accentuating and heightening that to the nth degree.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because I think what makes those characters so good is
Well, I think what
know what
makes
I'm
them
saying?
good initially, and then he heightens them to like almost a cartoonish level.
Yeah.
But you have the base of like what you know about this character
Sure,
already.
sure.
So it's built in kind of like a
Yeah.
The thing
shorthand.
is, I don't think he heightens the characters to a cartoonish level. I just think he puts the character in cartoonish,
In a cartoonish
situation.
situation.
Like because I feel like Rocky is always Rocky,
It's kind of true.
but
Yeah.
now all of a sudden
I
he's
agree with
fighting
that.
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T in the
Thunder,
same movie.
Thunderlips and Clubber Lang.
The ultimate
Okay.
man, baby.
So, to harken back to what we were saying earlier, Rocky 2 received at least no major nominations, and I had that totally mixed up, I guess. But won Best Picture, Best Director, which was Sly, right? Didn't Sly? Was Sly
No,
directed
he
it?
didn't direct it. He wrote
This
it.
is related to the Academy Awards.
This is the
In fact, they
Academy
didn't
Awards.
want him to play Rocky, and
So-
his condition on selling the script was he would play Rocky.
They were nominated in all of the major categories. Stallone was nominated as Best Actor, Talia Shire, Actress, Supporting Actor, Burgess Meredith, and Burt Young. Screenplay nominated, Film Editing,
Wow,
one Best
goddamn.
Picture and Director. I mean, it was like it was a powerhouse that year.
Creed won a Golden Globe, by the way.
And the only Academy Award major nomination was Sylvester Stallone, which kind of stinks.
Screenplay and supporting actor.
So I'll do my rundown real quickly.
Okay.
Your story.
So mine's my
rundown
my,
first?
my-
Oh, your rundown
First,
of the
I'll do
movies.
my Rocky rundown. Don't say ABC.
Rocky Rundown.
You want to start doing a Rocky rundown segment every episode?
Yeah.
Every
Every
fucking
single one.
episode, we're gonna do that.
Let's do this. Then our next project for podcast.
I was going to say this.
Rocky.
Yeah,
Rocky
not a
run. The
terrible
Rocky
idea.
rundown.
I would rather do that than GI Joe.
I honestly would too.
Sure.
Okay, so Rocky 1, Rocky 2. So far, it's like you. I think. Did you say Creed is number 3?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Then for me, it's Rocky 3, 4, Balboa, and 5. Does that cover them all?
Yes. So
So
basically,
mine's almost in order, but I shoved
Except
Creed in
I put-
before 3.
I put 4 before 3.
Yeah, that mine's the same as yours. Only
No, you said
I
3, 4 though.
Right,
Yeah.
except I flipped that.
Uh-huh.
Except I flipped that.
Okay.
They're close.
These are all good. These are all defendable positions.
I think we can all agree 5 should not exist.
Oh, it's god
it's
awful.
it's the shit stain on the entire franchise. So I just saw the movie, like I said,
On the plane.
and first of all, I love how, and I said this in our text exchange, I love like it references Rocky, like every single Rocky movie references all the previous Rocky movies before it. There's always like little clips to remind you that this happened.
Sure.
And it starts to get a little corny in 3 and 4. It's a little. Somebody's pissing on me, apparently.
No, so it's pouring a
I'm
drink.
telling you, it's raining.
Yeah.
But this movie did it in a way that was better than all the other movies. I mean, it felt like it made sense, and it didn't feel corny, and it didn't feel like
Right.
you were just overdoing it. But so I felt this movie made me feel emotional right from the very beginning, from the very opening scenes. We meet the child son.
Oh yeah.
Of Apollo Creed. And we don't know that yet, but he's in like a juvenile facility and he's got anger issues and he's getting in fights, and then Felicia Rashad shows up, aka Apollo Creed's widow. And I looked it up. I was like, did she play Apollo Creed's wife in all the
she
movies?
did not.
No, she didn't. So she shows up and adopts the young Adonis Johnson, aka Apollo Creed's son. And
Adonis Johnson, a.k.a.
but in that moment when they met, like I already like started welling up. Like my eye in that very scene, less than 5 minutes in the movie, my eyes are like, oh, I feel it, man. Yeah. And then right at that scene, you know how when you're watching movies on airlines, if you're at least on a reasonable plane that has the screen in the seat, that's what it kicked in. Like we were launching into the air, and that's when it kicked in like a fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to have an American Airlines credit card, here's how you do it for 5 fucking minutes. And this is right as I'm like peaking emotionally. And so it hadn't happened yet, but as soon as that commercial came in, like I just let it happen. My eyes had like enough moisture had gotten in there that the surface tension broke. The surface tension broke, and a tear started coming down my eye. And I'm like, I'm just gonna let this happen because as soon as this fucking commercial's over, I'm gonna get back into this movie. And so, and the commercial took so long, and I feel this tap on my elbow, and I look over to the left of me, and it's this. There's this. She's a very sweet old lady next to me, but not that old. She's probably in her mid-60s. She's very nice, and she's like, I'm wearing my headphones. I take my headphones off, and I'm like, and I'm wiping my eye. I'm like, yeah, hey, and she goes, you don't have to get the credit card.
Was she serious?
I don't know if she was serious or not.
Oh my god!
I laughed about it. I laughed and I was like, no. It's the movie, and I was like, I don't normally get like this or whatever, even though I do because I'm a softie. But I was just like.
I thought this is where this was going because whenever you said that, I was going to make a joke about like weeping at credit card commercials, but I didn't want to ruin your bit.
She did it. Wow.
That's awesome. Yeah. I also like how you said on a reasonable plane as opposed to like an unreasonable plane where like clowns are the stewards and like you watch a movie on the floor.
Right, yeah. The floor movies. I hate those flights. But yeah, that movie was so fucking good. That's it. I'll leave it at that. Everybody that's listening already knows that's a good movie because they saw it 2 years ago when it came out.
I like your experience, though.
Hey, that simulation's got people talking.
Let me tell your story of watching. Tell your story of watching Apollo.
Oh no! So I don't know. So when we were talking about this on text the other day, it was back in the 90s, and I was watching some. Well, I'm putting it in context because I was watching a movie in the theater. I don't remember what it was. No.
Oh, there's a preview for. Okay, I'm
correct.
Shut up because.
So I was back in high school. I was at the movies. I don't know what I was watching, and one of the previews was Apollo 13, and I was while it was on, I immediately hear somebody behind me go, Apollo 13, Apollo fights Rocky on the moon. And for some reason, that is the funniest fucking thing.
I don't know why you think that's funny.
Oh.
I think that's the terrible joke.
It's really funny.
All right.
Apollo 13, Apollo fights Rocky on the moon. Oh, sorry. It's really funny to me.
Okay.
It's okay.
You're allowed.
I thought it was funny. I laughed. Best Rocky movie moments. Just name one.
I've got one. So he's in Rocky. He's ice skating with Adrian. Of course, he doesn't have skates on because he can't ice skate, and she can't ice skate very well. But they're just going in circles around the skating rink. It's very sweet.
That.
And there's at one point he's like telling her a story because he's just rambling the whole time because she doesn't talk much.
Right.
And he shows her he got an injury. He's like, "You got an injury here. Watch his finger. You know, it's like double jointed." And he goes, "No, it's okay. You can fix it." He goes, "Bump." Like that, like bump, and you should find this clip and
Okay. Put it on the website.
Bump, and for some reason, him doing that is really funny. You tell me, be honest with me here. You know. All right, so they're in the skating rink, and he's talking, they're going around.
Be honest with you.
Watch out. I just dislocated my finger. Look at that. No. Hey, it ain't your fault. Look, see? Look, I had it. It's an old wound. You see that? Look. See? Nothing. It bends like that. See, I originally done it. Look, push the button. Bong. Works. No, it ain't your fault.
Okay. Wow. That really captured your imagination. That
You sure got her.
I'm trying to think. I'll just throw out two quick moments that just popped in my head. They're definitely not. I don't know that they're the iconic moments that I would pick out for Rocky, but one in Rocky 3 or 4, I think it is, where Paulie is on a bender and really pissed off, and like he goes and smashes a Rocky pinball machine, he's in a parking lot, and he's trying to take swings at Rocky, and he's like, I don't sweat you, and he's like crying and stuff, and he's like, you friends owe, and Rocky says, friends don't owe, they do because they want to, and he's like, can I have a job? It's like, yeah, it's just a nice moment for that fucking asshole. But yeah, I don't know.
He's the wheelie of the Rocky movies. I hate Paulie.
Yeah.
He's so annoying.
Yeah, he also loses all their money,
guy.
and that's why they're broken Rocky 5.
But in Creed, he still talks to them with reverence.
Do you have a moment?
No, mine is Carl Weathers' pecs.
He is a very symmetrically perfect
he's
man.
cut.
I wish I could. I've got a man crush on, but not on Carl Weathers.
Just Apollo?
Just his pecs.
One more thing about the Apollo thing. When Apollo dies, like the way he hits the ground after Ivan Drago hits him, he hits and it looks dead. Like he hits not like a movie fall. Like he hits that mat and he looks fucking dead.
Bong works.
Yeah, where's your magic finger then, Rocco?
Well, I think it's time to get into the last episode recap.
All right.
We have a podcast to run here.
Shit.
Last episode, I think you guys might remember, Hot Rod and Cup raw dog the planet's junk with their ribbed Quintessonian rod rocket.
Well done.
Nice.
Thanks. The universal greeting leads to an incredible yard-stomping dance battle, the likes of which pop sensations B2K have never seen before. That's a reference to the 2004 American dance drama You Got Served, in case you never saw that, because you...
I would not know.
All right, well, I saw it.
I'm sorry.
So that brings us to the top
We're
of
too
this
busy
minute.
watching Creed. Dude.
I didn't see it this year. I saw it in a timely fashion. So the minute kicks off. Wreck-Gar and Hot Rod are hand in hand. We already saw them. We discussed last episode the little dipsy doozle.
Their dancing is great.
And
it's fun.
Here they seem to be enacting some kind of country western swing
Swing
dancing,
your partner.
complete with fancy
Yeah,
turns.
Yeah. And
You
then
guys,
Wheelie
these guys have
Breakdancing.
moves. I think it's progressive right off the bat that Hot Rod, or the Transformers the movie, was able to have Hot Rod and
I
Wreck-Gar
do
dance like
kind
this.
of love that Hot Rod and Wreck-Gar are dancing, and RC is not dancing with anybody. She's just dancing by herself. I kind of dig that.
She's just there to dance, man. She doesn't need a man.
Yeah, it's great. And then we do cut to like Wheelie doing some sweet breakdancing, and this is the first bit where we get Wheelie and Daniel together, which becomes the like great value version of Spike and Bumblebee in season 3.
Yeah.
That's true. I can tell you that I know a little bit about classic break-in moves, and what we see Wheelie do here is a bit of floor rocking,
Oh, you know the move?
comboed into a windmill.
Nice.
Shit.
Okay.
That's right. So then we see some unnamed Junkion moves in on Grimlock, and holy...
Is that not Wreck-Gar?
Is it? I don't think
I
it
think
is.
it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, I
think
guess
so.
I thought... Oh, no, it isn't, because its back plate, it doesn't have the flames. So it's...
Right.
Yeah, wow. Ever since I was a kid, I thought that was Wreck-Gar, but it's just some random...
Also, he's missing arm spikes.
Yeah.
The script actually says it is Wreck-Gar, at least in my version of the script.
Yeah, he's too busy
But they're
dancing with
incorrect.
Hot Rod.
Holy Me Too movement, Batman. He just grabs Grimlock and kisses him on the face, does not act...
Was that kiss
Did
consensual?
not ask
Probably
permission
not.
at all. So, you can do that when you're famous, though. But Grimlock isn't into it. He feigns disgust. He wipes away the kiss. Mm-hmm. He states that, Grimlock, man, I'm not a kisser.
Like how
Because he's
wide,
king.
like how wide and surprised his eyes
I
are.
do not like it.
Not my favorite Grimlock face.
Yeah, it's-
The Dinobots' eyes in this movie, all around, are awful.
That seems to be the one area where the animators give
Well-
themselves leeway to be really Hanna-Barbera-ish.
Right, because his hands in that scene where he's brushing his face are the most cartoony looking hands. They lose their points or claws. He's like, look at
They
it.
do look like Mickey gloves.
Yeah, they might as well have 3 stripes on the on the fore part of the hand, and a little like rubber band style sort of around the wrist. I don't know what you call that. Band.
The end of the glove. I don't know. Yeah.
So Wreck-Gar and Hot Rod are now standing next to each other. Wreck-Gar is beating some junk as some kind of percussive device. He gives a very well prepared speech.
Yeah. Have a nice day, and please close cover before striking, friends. Breep drit are roodie, so say the Drunkions. Which I wrote down.
Did you
also.
say the Drunkions?
Yep, the Drunkions. Might as well be, because this is fucking nonsense.
I really like that idea. That is our next failed meme, everybody.
Yes.
Hot Rod says, "Where'd you learn to talk like that?"
Go
ahead.
I'm just sorry. Did you have anything about what he just said?
So, all I took it as is Wreck-Gar has now formally introduced the group. Until now, I never understood that because I could never really understand that line. I mean, I have something on Have a Nice Day and Cover Before Striking. The Breep Drip Aw Rudy. You got anything on that?
It's like Tutti Frutti all Rudy?
It's meaningless. It's garbage. As far as I could find, whenever I typed into Google and I searched several pages, but Google's suggestion was, did you mean Brop Dirt A&W Rudy?
That's what my... Yeah, I was hoping it had some... At that point, I was like, maybe it's got some sort of origins in the A&W restaurant franchise or root beer. Nope, it doesn't.
Nope.
It just reminds me of the
I don't think it does remind you.
the Little Richard song, Tutti
Frutti All Rudy.
Yeah.
That's true.
But then I don't know why he just doesn't go Tutti Frutti all
It's
Rudy.
the Breep Drip that
Yeah, it's
messes
meaningless.
it all up.
Yeah. So
Ryan, do you have anything on Have a Nice Day? Well, I always
no,
do it.
go ahead.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
I did have some on the closed cover, but that's it.
Okay. I'll let you handle that.
Okay.
So Have a Nice Day. I mean, we all get it. It's an expression, particularly...
Forrest Gump made it up.
Yeah, totally. Within the American retail settings, there are variants of their expressions dating back to 1205 in Le Mans Brut, a.k.a. the Chronicle of Britain.
Jesus.
The phrase went on to help define the 1970s via the Murray and Bernard Spain bumper sticker and coffee mugs. They contained a yellow smiley face, the inspiration for which was completely accurately recreated in the movie Forrest Gump.
I'll take that out. Sorry.
And then there's Close Cover Before Striking. Ryan, what do you got to say about that?
I want to interject really quick that I learned that it's interesting that you're saying that the Have a Nice Day originates in the 1200s, because the word nice doesn't mean the same thing now that it meant even like 150 years ago. Nice was a term of meaning like close call or fine, like a fine balanced kind of situation.
Maybe
it's
it's
have
an
a finely balanced day.
It's
Perhaps.
probably a translation from an old English, because English wasn't the same in the 1200s.
Oh, totally
So
not.
it might just be a translation. I don't know.
But yeah, in the Battle of Waterloo, Wellington remarked on the battle. Post-battle, it was a real close call, and he said it was a damn nice day or something like that. But what he means by that, it was a fucking close call.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
So anyway,
I'd never heard that.
yeah.
I'm really glad to have a history expert
major.
here on the
Yeah, come in handy sometime.
Decepticast.
The close cover for striking is, for our younger listeners who may not know about matches, basically it was just a warning on matchbooks and sleeves of close the cover before striking the match so you don't set the whole goddamn thing on fire.
So at this point, Wreck-Gar explains that we talk TV. Cub says he talks in TV, and now the news don't touch that dial. This makes the Junkion posse erupt with excitement.
I will say, when Wreck-Gar opens his Matrix hole, ?
Yeah.
That sound of him opening it is the sound of the Star Trek doors opening.
Yeah.
The Enterprise.
Nice. At this point, after Cup says some wise, witty words, Wreck-Gar goes on to say,
By George, Kimosabe, your smashed up friends soon like brand new with 90-day warranty.
do you have anything on this phrase by any chance? Or
Nope.
okay.
Well, Kimosabe, Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
There you go.
true dat.
Okay.
So
Racist.
totally. What's interesting is I don't have anything on I didn't catch on the Kimosabe piece of this. The By George piece, there's conflicting stories of the origins of that. Some people believe that it dates back to like King George, like By George. It's
Okay.
the reference. But most things I read say that, and this is a new phrase that I'd never heard before, that it is a minced oath. You know what a minced oath is?
No.
It's basically anytime somebody said, like, gosh darn it is a minced oath.
Like,
Or
so you're
dag
using
nabbit is
nice
an
words
oath.
instead of the curse
instead of taking
words?
the name of the Lord in vain. So, By George is a minced oath dating back to the 1500s, a mild replacement word for gum. For gum?
God?
For gum.
God? It's a mild replacement for gum.
It's a mild replacement word for God, like by gum or dag
By
nabbit.
God.
Got it.
By George. Gotcha.
Sorry, that was a long
No,
explanation.
I've
No.
never heard it called a minced oath.
Yeah,
I
I'd
like-
never heard
I
that
like
interesting
I like
phrase.
knowing that. Yeah.
This is a really educational episode.
Yeah, it is. I think Wellington himself said it was by George. It was a fine,
Nice day.
It was a nice day.
So after the 90-day warranty, I didn't really get into any of the other lines. So after the 90-day warranty line, the Junkions grab all of Ultra Magnus's various parts, bring them to a central location, create some kind of assembly line, piece his parts together, gloss him up with some kind of shiny robo-lotion.
Okay.
And that's when
Robo-lotion?
Wreck-Gar says,
Happy motoring. Happy motoring. Cock-A-Doodle-Doo. Okay. I have a whole thing about this because you just glossed over this liquid, which is 100%
Robo-lotion?
magic Junkion cum.
Robo-lotion.
We're
why
watching.
would you call it Junkion jizz just for the
Because it's
wordplay?
Ryan. Anything
Junk-
that's liquid, Ryan
Don't-
immediately thinks there's semen
I don't want
involved.
to take your notes. Like it's okay. Where it's minute 65:50, and if you play that, it's never even explicitly clear that it's a dispenser of the fluid. It's definitely coming out of his cock. He's holding it like a dick, and you don't see the end of that dispenser. It's definitely cum.
You're reading into this.
No,
I don't see the end of the dispenser.
no, keep going. Look at that. That's a dick.
That
That's
is
not
not
a
a dick.
Why don't they show the end of it?
You
Oh,
can't.
for
You can't.
crying out loud.
You can't move that thing that way,
You can't move your dick like that?
Ryan.
It's definitely... And then he stands up! And then he stands up in the very next scene and says, Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
So then,
And pumps
then
his
Then he
fist.
raises his arm. Did he just rip his dick off?
You can let go of your dick.
I think he's highly Hitler in that.
It is 100% magic
Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
Junkion
All right.
goo.
Now that he says it that way, I am willing to believe you.
No, Caleb.
Just
Don't do it.
Just for fun.
No. Just for practice.
I know that I'm not being serious. I'm being an elevated character right now. But watching it, I'm like, wow, you really don't see the dispenser. You could definitely see this as they're coming all over him. It's a bukkake. It's a Transformers bukkake, and that's what brings him back to life.
A bukkake on a dead body.
Exactly, and that's maybe they didn't find Prime sexy, and that's why they couldn't get hard to make him come back to life.
They also didn't have Prime's body here.
That's true, and then we did discuss off mic a little bit why they don't do this to Prime to bring they bring Ultra Magnus back.
Big. Why don't they do that?
And the way I frame it in my mind is that Prime's been dead too long. You know, it's like when you resuscitate somebody, you can't resuscitate them after a certain amount of time. It doesn't fit perfectly, but
a couple interesting things about this. To go along with that. And it just hit me right now. So he's not destroyed in a way that he should be. Like, his parts are fairly intact.
It's a very Crash Test Dummies way of exploding.
And which would be in alignment with the original script's reading of how he was drawn and quartered.
Yes.
So, and I would think these are robots, drawing and quartering them probably shouldn't kill them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is a remnant of that. And also, I guess, to your point, just to rationalize that, Ultra Magnus either hadn't been dead, like maybe perhaps he'd been pulled apart, exploded, gone through a lot of pain and was suffering, but he just wasn't dead yet. He could have heard the whole battle with the Junkions go down. He's just sitting there listening. Maybe he even saw it with his decapitated head just resting there in the junk. And he's like, I wish I could help, but I can't. I'm sitting here dying, motherfuckers.
I can't deal with this right now.
And so, at any rate, he just, as a previous failed meme of mine on Twitter, he just wasn't dead yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or wasn't...
he's only mostly dead.
He's only mostly dead. That's right.
You're probably playing cards, and he cheated. That was the worst impression of that character.
But don't do it anymore, because then... Don't try again, because then it's going to be
What are you talking about?
Oh, no. God damn it. We already did it.
So, Happy Motoring Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
Yeah.
Happy Motoring is, of course, a slogan, of course I say, as if anyone alive remembers. It is an Esso boy slogan. Esso being is it an oil company, I believe?
It eventually became what we know now today as ExxonMobil.
Ah, there we go. They've never done anything wrong. And it's apparently also a very popular crossword clue for boring people with no interests or hobbies.
Let's watch this commercial because it's creepy.
Extra, something extra. Posies for the girlfriend? Yes, sir. And an extra blouse Elmer to win his buttonhole. Everyone likes that little something extra. A dozen rolls, and the baker tosses in an extra one to make it a baker's dozen. The butcher throws in an extra bone for the bow wow. Every locality has a different name for it. Way down east in New England, they call it something to boot. In the deep south, they call it lanyard. At your neighborhood service station, they call it Esso. The new Esso gives you premium performance, unexcelled at regular price. And the new Esso Extra is unexcelled at any price. Extra quick starts, extra power, extra anti-knock. You can take your choice. These two great gasolines are both extra value for the money. For service, that is, tops. And gas that's extra fine. There's a smile for every mile at the Esso sign. E-S-S-O makes your car go. Happy motoring.
Oh! That was terrifying. The fuck?
Yeah. All right.
Whenever I read about it being a crossword puzzle clue, it made me think of this movie, and I had to Google it to remember this, because I did say that crosswords are for people that are boring and have no hobbies, because they are essentially just a waste of time. But it reminded me of a movie that was talking about that, called Kicking and Screaming from 1995, and they were talking about how one of the characters says to another, crosswords are a waste of time, even more than watching TV, because they're arguing about whether watching TV or crosswords is a waste of time. And the character says, at least I'm thinking of words and roots of words, and sometimes in Latin. But then I started thinking, like, that's a really meta reference, because now I'm referencing it on a podcast, talking about a 30-year-old movie, talking about a movie I remember watching, talking about crosswords.
Yeah.
I lost interest in what you were saying a long time ago.
I think crosswords are pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, crosswords are pretty cool. I don't do
I'll just
them.
cut all that out then.
Nope, don't do it. People need to hear your pain.
Well, if it was boring to you...
And our disinterest.
And our So, did you have any notes on Cock-A-Doodle-Doo?
No.
Well, you might find this interesting, Ryan.
Doubtful.
Now, we all have an understanding of Cock-A-Doodle-Doo, but like Wolverine, everything has an origin.
Huh.
Are you guys familiar with the concept of murder pamphlets?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, sirs, since the invention of movable type, there's been a desire for stories about true crime and death. And local printers back in these times would put together pamphlets that would be a supposed account of a true murder. It may include a trial transcript or written confession. They were written in an incredible variety of styles. Some were more somber, some were very sensationalist. But basically, people would just sell these on the corner of streets, and people would buy them.
They were known to be fictitious works?
No, they may be fictitious, or they may be based in reality. It's basically kind of the original
Fake
sort
news.
of true crime, or just like
But they
crime novels.
They were consumed not as news, but it's just for the excitement of reading about something.
Exactly.
And
Whether
and
true
how long
or
ago?
false.
You're talking like hundreds of years ago?
I mean, ever since movable type existed, 1600s,
1500s,
Gutenberg, I don't know.
Gutenberg.
But particularly in the United States of America, I believe it was a popular thing. But there isn't much information on the context of where the phrase Cock-A-Doodle-Doo came from. But some of the earliest incarnations of the phrase are from some of these old murder pamphlets, and apparently that is just a phrase that children use to mock the crow, if you will.
Mock the crow.
Mock the rooster's crow, if you will. And so some of the earliest written incarnations are in some of these.
Are you saying imitate?
Murder pamphlets? Yeah,
So
mocking. Mocking is imitation.
But that's what it means.
So I'm not-
Cock-A-Doodle-Doo, that's the only meaning it has.
So I'm not quite making the
But
connection.
I don't connect.
But
yeah.
at some point,
Kids are was it common in the murder pamphlets for kids to be making fun of crows?
like when discussing children in the morn, dancing around, singing the rooster's crow of Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
I don't understand.
That was a common theme.
I'm
I
just saying-
don't know
I'm just
why the
saying
murder pamphlet has to do with children or with imitating a rooster.
I think
In these murder pamphlets, in setting up the scene for whatever story they're about to tell, they might use children in the morning mocking the rooster's crow.
don't know what
Why would they do that?
Listen, you'd have to read.
Why
the
wouldn't they
murder
just have a
pamphlet.
rooster do it? Why have a child in a written story imitate a sound that an animal makes?
Why do you have to have that as an introduction to a murder pamphlet?
Precisely. Why not just say it's the morning?
Or anyway,
I don't know about this.
No,
I think this is.
I think we could go with this.
You know who I blame for this?
Obama.
Wikipedia.
Ooh, this is a rambly one.
So, hang on a minute. I feel like I had more about this.
Oh my god!
Guess what?
But also, like, the only thing about it is Cock-A-Doodle-Doo means exactly what you think it means.
Well, it means, but I guess the question is when was the origin?
I think since
and
roosters
apparently
existed.
it's traced it back to early murder pamphlets, at least in written form.
Okay.
I guess.
I know.
And that would have been probably actually more European, not American, because
Right.
in 1606, this poem existed.
I'm excited.
Cock-A-Doodle-Doo. What is my dame to do? Till master's found his fiddling stick, she'll dance without her shoe. Cock-A-Doodle-Doo. My dame has found her shoe, and master's found his fiddling stick. Sing Cock-A-Doodle-Doo. Cock-A-Doodle-Doo, my dame will dance with you, while master fiddles his fiddling stick, and knows not what to do.
So he's jerking off.
So,
Of course he is.
maybe you can edit out all that murder pamphlet stuff.
No, I
and
think it's
just,
a bit fascinating.
This is going to be
There
a fun
isn't
one
a
to
real
edit.
connection. Unfortunately, that's not like the research that I did. So like this murder pamphlet published in 1512
Sure, I get
about
it.
Jack the Ripper.
I know, I guess it's just like, you're just...
It's a little unsatisfying.
But it's also just saying
And
it's
what-
imitating what you think it's imitating.
But the
And I'm just ripping off. Well, of course it is. What else would it be?
yeah, so why even mention it?
Because it had to originate somewhere.
we had to talk about
Yeah, but I think it originates in the world, just it's a thing. Just because it's printed doesn't... It's not a different meaning than it could possibly be.
But what he's saying is that the term probably gained some traction popularly from people reading the murder pamphlets.
Yeah, but that's like saying the first incarnation of the word bang. It's just a noise.
Right, but where did it gain traction and really take off?
Who fucking cares?
Well, why are we doing any of this then?
I just mean it's not unusual.
It's really interesting that this is a point of contention. We're talking about Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
I know.
It's just not surprising
weird
or
phrase.
different. It's not. It's a noise. It's an onomatopoeia.
Do you know in other?
It's like a drip.
Do you know Cock-A-Doodle-Doo in other? I believe in another culture, like Asian culture, it's kee-kee-kee-kee.
Yeah, noises are different depending on where you come from.
Cool.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with trying to understand the origin of Cock-A-Doodle-Doo, Ryan.
Disagree.
Or bang.
I feel
or
like maybe I'm a
kiki-kiki-kiki.
little salty because you guys did not care about my crossword story.
I did. I said I like crosswords.
Ryan doesn't like crosswords.
Oh, well, I don't. Then I don't agree with you.
All right, top 5.
You weren't even listening to what I was talking about.
Top
then.
5 worst episodes. So, guys, we are almost at the end of this minute. Thank the Lord. The Junkions, they finished the job. They've polished him. They pieced him together. Ultra Magnus's chest closes up.
It's a pretty cool scene, actually, where there was chest closes.
They
It's pretty
jizz
neat.
on him. Cock-A-Doodle-Doo.
And I just want to see if
Pumps
when his
his
chest...
chest.
Okay, no Matrix in that
Of
hole,
course,
by
yeah.
the way. And as a kid, I did not understand the waxing and polishing. We've talked about it probably ad nauseum, but I always thought that there was some secret in the lotion that was what brought him back to life.
I think that's implied.
Is it?
Yeah, what else could it be?
Well, I just think that I think watching it as an adult, there's no secret in the lotion.
They're just shining them up.
They're just shining him up.
But then why couldn't the Autobots just put him back together? Like
Well,
that
they
can't be a
could,
secret.
but they just didn't.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
I think it must be the Junkions must know some secret the Autobots don't.
They're obviously savvy at putting robots back together.
Yeah, I think the implication is the magic comes.
It just seems like the way that I understand what you're saying.
It is life-giving.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that. I think that it's more of their knowledge of reassembly rather than the magical combination.
But the assembly looked pretty
I know
rudimentary.
that's a problem.
There wasn't a lot of ratcheting wrenches.
It's true. I understand what you're saying, Caleb. I just think on screen what we see that there's nothing different other than the goo.
I would agree with you there. I can't argue with you.
And yet here we are.
There's no answer to it.
I just don't think that it was intended by the writers to be a magical goo.
Yeah, because when they put the goo on, they really just make a point of like buffing him up. Here's the goo. They're now like the dust and scratch marks are coming off of him.
Yeah, that's all. I don't think
we'll never know.
That's right.
Unless your script points to something.
Nope.
Mine certainly doesn't.
Nope.
We're at the end of this episode, everybody. It'll be interesting to see how this is edited together.
I just think we're a little surly and surprisingly so.
I know it's only the second recording session.
I know the next one's going to be.
We're gonna have to take a little breather.
So, The Walking
I'm
Dead.
sorry, guys.
The Walking Dead ripped the Junkions off from Transformers. Do either of you guys still watch The Walking Dead? I don't know if anybody.
I checked
No,
out. I
have a hard time getting past season 4 of anything.
Yeah, I don't know what season Walking Dead is in right now, but
7 or 8.
probably I haven't watched
more.
it probably in a couple seasons, but there is a moment on the show when our group of heroes ends up on this Junkion-like area. It's like a junkyard, and there is a leader of these junk people that first they fight them, then they become allies.
This is in the TV show?
This is in the television show. And she talks. She doesn't talk in a sort of old school pop culture way, but she has a very, she doesn't talk well. Like, she has, a very, off-kilter way of speaking.
But they haven't been isolated from society for that long.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know. Well, figure that out on your own. Yeah,
I will.
But
anyway, they're saying that it's.
I believe that there are characters and situations from the television show Walking Dead, because I haven't been reading the comics, that are inspired by this sequence in the movie.
Okay.
But that's all I got on that.
Does she ever say at any point on the show, "Cock-A-Doodle-Doo"?
Where does that phrase come from?
We don't really have an answer to that after all that bullshit. So maybe it's time to go into those deviations. This is Aaron speaking. I'm going to go first with the less nutballs version of the script. Then Ryan's going to take over with his version, and maybe there'll be a little wackiness that we enjoy.
A little bit.
In my version of the script, instead of a smooch on the nozzle, Wreck-Gar kisses Grimlock's leg, which feels a lot weirder to me.
'Cause he's
Like,
so much
especially, what if
bigger.
he kissed his inner thigh?
Sexy.
It would be awkward.
When explaining how they learn to talk, Wreck-Gar reaches into his body, quote, about where his heart or some other organ would be, and he pulls out a, quote, Watchman. That is actually where he did it. I just like their description
a
of it.
Walkman? No,
This
a
is a
Watchman.
Watchman.
I guess
TV.
is that one of those little TVs, like a takeoff?
I don't know if
Walkman?
that was a real
I think back
thing
in the
or
day,
not.
It must have been like a Sony Walkman,
Okay.
only it's like those little portable TVs.
Yeah.
Which wow.
I just liked how they said reaches into his body about where a heart or some other organ.
Or
would
some
be.
other organ. Why do you need that? But whatever, yeah.
After all the mechanic and polish work, Wreck-Gar hits a switch, which brings Ultra Magnus's lights back on.
Oh.
So we just saw right after his chest closed, Ultra Magnus's light came on and he sat up. So that's it for me.
There is a Sony Watchman there for
we know.
reference.
Oh.
FYI. Okay.
All right. Mine is not like this one's pretty short. There's not that much different. The only thing that I found ridiculous, and this is moving off of, if you remember in the last one, whenever the Cup and the Dinobots and Hot Rod board the shuttle or the cruiser, RC says Hot Rod looks so different. And in this one, basically, they do the dance and everything like that. And then Wreck-Gar is talking about have a nice day, plays cover, striking. And then all the Junkions smile and applaud. And then Hot Rod reacts, looks at RC, and Hot Rod goes, "What did he say?" And RC says, "I'm not sure, but it sounds friendly." And then Hot Rod says, "A small beat, small smile. So do you."
Oh, God.
Whoa.
That's
Sounds
stupid.
like Springer might be losing a gal.
Well, he's not even in the dance sequence here.
It's true.
Like he's
And in this one, the way they put Ultra Magnus back together, they move his mangled body through a line of Junkions, each of whom quickly pieces together Junkin body parts, locking them together, spraying him, dusting, lubing, and finally polishing him as he starts at one end of the Junkion line, a wreck, and gets to Wreck-Gar in perfect condition, amazed by his own reconstruction.
Doesn't say anything about the juice.
Well, it does. They say
Being
dust,
the source.
lubing, and polishing.
But being the source of the light.
Yeah, but in this, it's more clear that them putting him back together is what's the magic, I guess. Kind of like in this one, whenever they roll through the junk, they put pieces of themselves back together as they're moving.
they obviously have a certain level of savvy on,
Yeah.
on doing
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
where the Autobots apparently did not.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one.
Okay.
But, so, again, that's an early version of the script. There's no connection to the sauce.
Yeah, but in this one, it's the assembly that.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't need to relitigate this.
You're right. Case closed. That sauce has nothing to do with bringing him back to life.
Respectfully disagree.
All right. Well, that brings us to the time when the ghost of the iconic moment shows up.
ooh, changed my job working at Chico's now.
We can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know.
Could you get a job with what is that beverage? Chico Tapa? Chico.
I work at Chico's clothing and I wear chacos. And I
don't know
eat
what either of
Choco
those things are.
tacos. Chacos.
I don't know
Sandals.
what any of those three things are.
He works at Chico's. He wears chacos. He eats chocolate tacos. And then he works at that Chico place that Aaron just mentioned.
Unclear.
All right. So, Ryan, what's your iconic moment? For this?
Magic Cum.
Yeah. I would say Cock-A-Doodle-Doo would be my iconic moment.
I do have cleaning up Ultra Magnus. Pretty memorable. I always like the Hot Rod Wreck-Gar dance sequence. They only focus on it for like a second and a half, but everything is
It
really
is good.
well animated. It looks
Yep.
like this whole sequence was really well drawn. There's not any bad, gross moments. So.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
Ultra Magnus is alive.
Thank God.
You're all
So
alive.
is everyone else.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
And even the Junkions know who Unicron is for some reason.
I have an explanation.
And these shitheads have a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Ship.
I got a lot about the ship too.
The Junkions have a ship?
You get ship if I get trip.
Yeah. You get ship if I get trip.
Listen to the show, everybody. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and tune in, of course. Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. They're all at Autopod Decepticast, people. And there's our web presence, autopoddecepticast.com.
I wonder if there'll be anything about Rocky on it.
I was going to say,
I hope so.
There should be. And
what if I dump everything about Rocky and that's the first mention in this episode about it?
That would be awful.
Like,
It would be
because that was
pretty
the intro.
That's
that was the funnest part of this
It was
whole
pretty.
episode for me.
It was. It really hit a wall at some point, and I feel like it's my fault.
That's okay, Ryan. I think it's only your
No,
fault.
no, don't disagree.
Because you took...
Don't feel too bad,
It's
Ryan.
because I got all
took
pissy.
something really personally, but it was the same kind of shit you give us all the time. All right, everybody, it's been a great episode. Goodbye.
Bye, bye, bye. Speaking of shitty toys, have you guys watched the Toys That Made Us Transformers episode yet?
I have.
I liked the part where they were talking about when the toys got really shitty, like the Pretenders and the Action Masters and stuff like that, how it was the American company that was making them without Takara.
Right.
Hasbro, that is, as some might call it.
Yep, just straight up, Japanese make better toys.
And, well, it's...
In that regard.
Yeah. And also the mention of Beast Wars, where it's like if Beast Wars hadn't had good writing and the reestablishment of a relationship with the characters, we might not be in this kind of Transformers renaissance today.
Are we in a Transformers renaissance?
I mean, I feel like, yeah.
Do you think we're helping?
Absolutely. We are part of
With
the
that?
movement.
Yeah, there we go.
Proud to be a part of it. I feel like it's kind of starting to go down again, though.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, because I just saw an awesome Bumblebee trailer.
You guys really like it?
I love it.
I haven't seen it, and I don't really like anything that Michael Bay does.
It's not Michael Bay.
Oh.
That's why I like it.
In the
like,
style of...
It's not really, though.
Here we go.
It's like 2 minutes.
Here we go.
It's awesome.
I will say it looks better, and the Starscream looks more like Starscream as we know him, and I think he turns into an F-14 or F-15.
I think it might be an F4 Phantom, but I don't know.
Well, this is set in the 80s.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a prequel to all the
put our
Bay
headphones
movies.
Put our headsets on.
Which is weird since it has voiceover from the first Michael Bay movie, but
It does?
Bernie Mac.
That looked like a Jeep.
Yeah, it's another alt mode.
Why would he try to murder her like that? I just want to see Starscream again. He even has arm cannons.
So,
Oh my god, I love it so much.
Like he does look a lot, and he's even got an homage to his ear flap thing.
It's one of the commenters on Twitter was like, it's the first movie where you can instantly recognize the characters just by seeing them.
Right.
What
else is she? She's been in some other stuff.
I think she's a pop star.
But like,
I think, isn't she?
No, she's an actress.
Okay.
I've watched this probably 20 times, and I cry every time I see it.
Cry?
Yeah, that part where Bumblebee's all scared. And she says, and this was another Twitter commenter that I thought kind of nailed it. It was like when she asks, she says, "Who are you?" as opposed to "What are you?" Kind of like they're just automatically humanizing him, and it was just so sweet. And which tied into I saw a lot of that on Twitter too, where everybody was like, "Oh, sweet boy," like Takara, the guy head of Takara said in the Toys That Made Us, Bumblebee, sweet boy. But man, I feel like if you from that trailer, I saw enough that I think the movie can't suck as bad as I would be afraid of, because I liked everything I saw. Like, it seemed good. There was nothing where I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that," or "That seems dumb."
What if Bumblebee's first words in
He
the
doesn't
movie...
speak, I don't think.
Okay.
Because in the first Bay movie, he can't talk.
I mean, I'm gonna make a joke, obviously.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So,
I'll go
Make
ahead.
it.
I was gonna ask, what if Bumblebee's first words in the movie are "My bad"?
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, it's a reference to Optimus Prime in the Bay movies.
Ugh. I only saw the first one.
Yeah, and I believe that's the one where he goes, "My bad."
God. So bad.
My bad.
Well, I don't think it's Optimus Prime that says it. It's one of the other ones.
I think it's
but
like Ironhide or something.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Bumblebee does urinate.
Oh
on
God,
John
John
Turturro.
Turturro. Yeah. So fucking stupid.
They're bad movies.
They're very bad movies. There was a one where somebody fixed it was a mock-up of if Michael Bay fixed the poster for Bumblebee, because the poster's just him and her in front of a sunset, and like he put it so like put explosions here, you can't see her butt, and the robot should be pissing.
Right.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna try, and I just realized that I might not have our theme music loaded up here. Let me see.
I could like sing it, or I could play it on my phone from, you know.
Blow cells, where we sell good.